Hey guys, for those of you who haven't looked at a calendar recently, it's about to be July, which means we're approximately like halfway through the year. So I figure it's about as good a time as any to talk about some potential bottles of the year candidates, or let's say the best bottles released so far this year. Roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey, the internet's most okayest whiskey review channel. Appreciate you stopping by. I would appreciate you just a little bit more if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you were here. Okay? Drop a like, drop a comment. You know the whole shebang, right? So what we're going to do, because today's the last day of my vacation before I go back to work. And instead of dealing with my Sunday scaries like an adult, I'm going to act like a child and, distract myself with shiny whiskey-shaped things. So let's just get right into it. Just dig deep down, right? All right. First bottle on our list, and these are in kind of a, let's call it a rough order. It's not, anything super specific. This is just kind of what I threw together. But what we got here? 3, 4, 5. I picked 9 bottles. Okay, we got 9. So number 9 bottle, and the reason this one's a little bit further down is a couple reasons. A, this is not distributed outside of, I think, like my county. This is an extremely local product. But also it's 87.8 proof. Would have loved this at like 95, 96 proof. But this is the Motor City Gas Roughneck Rye, but this is their anniversary bottle. So it is celebrating 10 years of Motor City Gas. So this is a 10-year-old rye that is finished in apple brandy barrels. Again, it's just a hair under 88 proof. Motor City Gas is like this truly like farm to table, grain to glass establishment in my area, making super, super unique craft whiskeys. This one is really good. It's just impossible to get if you don't live in my neck of the woods. So that's number 9. Number 8. Just recently got this one. HK Young Toasted Small Batch. So this is 91.4 proof. So a little bit lower on the proof again, which I'd like to see it around 95 would be my only criticism, but it is absolutely fantastic. I think it's like $60. This is one of the best small batch toasted bourbons I have had in recent memory. Super, super good. This was sent to me for review purposes. Full disclosure, I didn't pay for it, but that doesn't stop me from saying this is an excellent, excellent product. If you guys have this on the shelves in your neck of the woods, A, count yourself lucky, and B, maybe go ahead and grab one. I know it's blended into a small batch, and I don't know exactly how many barrels go into it. I don't think it tells me. This is a batch number 1 for anybody who's curious, but it is distilled and aged in Kentucky, so I believe it is contract distilled and then blended later on, but it's really, really good. Definitely look for that one. All right, next. And this is one of the new hotness to hit the shelves, but this is the Penelopey Cigar Sessions Chapter 1. This is surprisingly good. And I know I'm kind of a Penelopey slappy. I love a lot of their products. This one is no exception. It is a blend of American single malt, straight Kentucky bourbon, and American light whiskey. And this one is 101 proof, and it is amazing. This tastes like what smoking a cigar tastes like. Not as quite as aggressive. It doesn't really like leave you with that tobacco-y headache kind of thing, but it's really good for the $80 price point. I think it's exceptional. It's definitely one of my favorite cigar blend whiskeys that are out on the market, right behind like the Buzzard's Roost and the early batch Magnuses. But this one just dropped, and it is really good. I was able to get this one from my local store. Shout out Mark at the Shores Canteen. Guys, I know everybody says it, but relationships really are crucial. I do spend a ton of money with my local stores, so I am able to get a hold of some stuff a little bit easier, not a ton easier, but a little bit easier than the average bear. But this one, very, very good. Number 6, the first rye on the list. And this is the Sagamore 9-year rye. Last year's 8-year was extremely good. The 9-year, even better. Shocking. I know, it got better with age. Like a fine wine or a woman like my fiance. They just get better with age. This thing is, let's see, this is batch 1A, 9 years old, 112.6, just an absolute flavor bomb. If I can find another one of these sitting on a shelf somewhere for a halfway reasonable price, I will definitely be grabbing this up. We've not really gotten into it a ton just because we've been traveling a lot recently. We've had a lot of stuff going on, and this isn't something that I just want to, throw down the gullet. This is something that I want to savor and enjoy. My 8-year-old is running extremely low, was not able to get a backup of that one. This one, I have a line on a bottle. I'm going to try and grab it up, but if you guys see it, these Sagamore limited releases are just getting better and better all the time. Cannot recommend them enough. Number 5. And this is the Smokey Hill Blue Corn. They're barrel proof, coming at 131. This was another media sample that was sent to me, but it is really, really, really good. My only criticism of this is, the cork came apart like relatively soonish upon getting it, that metal cork. So I had to shove another cork in here, which also came apart because it's got a uniquely sized opening. But regardless, there's no air getting in here, and that's what I need. I love the bottle shape, love the label. The whiskey inside, this beat a Stag Junior. This beat a batch 14 Stag Junior in a blind for me. I don't know if that's because this is just a really good batch. I know some of these other ones are coming out with an age statement, and those are the newer ones. This is an older one, but I think this is really, really good. This is a well-done blue corn that is contract distilled through MGP. So it is not MGP, because MGP does not have any blue corn mash bills. This is a contract distillate. So Smokey Hill was like, hey, this is what we want. MGP's like, you got it. We're going to go ahead, distill it up, throw it in the barrel, and then age it up for you. So very, very good there. If you guys can get your hands on one of these, definitely keep one around the bar. Number 4. Now this one I haven't cracked yet, but I did get a couple pours of it at the tasting room, and this is the Mayor Pingri 10-year blue label, Distiller Select. So this is a 10-year 139.8, so very nearly just a sniff away from a hazmat bourbon that is finished in PX sherry casks. This was a tasting room only release. I was able to jump out there and grab one, and yeah, these are a little bit pricier. I think this one came in around $180, but the whiskey inside is just absolutely amazing. I'm waiting for a couple friends to come over before I crack this one, just because, I know I get some hate for the amount of unopened bottles that people see in some of these videos, but I have about 1,100 and change in terms of the number of bottles I have, and approximately half of those are open. So I try not to have more than 50% open at any given point. I know that's going to get me flamed a little bit, but I can't have all of them open. I mean, they're going to start, funkatizing and changing and stuff, and I'm not doing that. Number 3 on the list, this year's MTOR's Barrel Strength Rye. Barrel number 25B0465, whatever that means, 110.4 proof. So this is one of the tastiest ryes I think I have ever had. I thought the E.H. Taylor rye that I got a hold of was going to be really good, and this thing completely blows it out of the water. The E.H. Taylor rye was let's call it a disappointment. Not great, but this guy, and I am not the biggest MTOR supporter in the world. I don't like that everything they make is ultra allocated, short of their normal shelf stuff. There's no intermediate offerings. This would kind of be the closest thing they have to an intermediate offering, and this one was definitely pricey and extremely hard for me to come by. But I got one. Again, a local store owner held it back for me. He knew I wanted it, and he hooked me up, so I appreciate that. But these are great. Anybody who knows whiskey knows that these are fantastic. Probably one of the better ryes that you're going to have. So if you see it for any kind of reasonable price, I would pay up to $125, maybe $130 for one of these, just because of the scarcity factor. I don't believe that's MSRP is even close to that, but that's what I would pay to get another one of these. And my fiance definitely agreed with me. Number 2. And this is a single barrel, and this was a club pick, so I'm going to get a little bit of hate, but regardless. This is an old Louisville 10-year, actually it's darn near 11 years old, from what I recall. Yeah, Yeah, 74 corn, 21% rye, 5% malted barley. So yeah, I think it's an 11-year blend. Is it a blend? No, it was a single barrel. So it says 11 years on the club sticker, 10 years on the bottle. It's awesome. It's amazing. Total flavor bomb. I don't want to give too much away on this one just because I do have a review coming on this guy. But Old Louisville's doing some super cool stuff. Some of the best MGP sourced whiskey you're ever going to have is going to come out of Old Louisville. I love that it comes with the bag. This is my second bottle. If the club does another pick, I will 110% be a buyer. If you're watching this, Luciano, thank you for putting this all together and for constantly being the guy that's the go-between. We appreciate you. But guys, if you're lucky enough to have Old Louisville bottles sitting on the shelves near you, you should have at least 2 or 3 of these things because they're just super good. I know some of the barrel finish ones have gotten some hate, but I've actually never had a really bad one from them. I think the most vanilla tasting one I had, and I say vanilla in terms of like bland, was their maple syrup finish, and I actually liked that quite a bit too. So that should tell you, like, some of their other barrel finishes like the Madeira, they're really good. But that brings us to the number one, and number one's gonna be a little bit tricky for me because it's gonna be like a number 1A, 1B. Right? And that's because they kind of are like a package deal, right? And if you guys have been watching the channel, this shouldn't be a surprise, but this is the Old Stubborn and the Old Swagger. Both of these guys are amazing in their own right. From the packaging that they're delivered in, to the whiskey inside, to the amazingly ornate bottles that they come in. These are absolutely fantastic whiskeys. I know they're very hard to come by, and I know that they are a little bit on the pricier side, but I mean, it is very difficult. Very difficult to get a whiskey of this quality for less than like that $200 range. Ed is doing some amazing blends at Rising Tide. Now these are single barrels, so whatever barrels you're picking, you're doing a great job. Obviously your palate is much more in tune than mine, but the Old Swagger, this is a 12-year bottled in bond. I mean, my God. And just the packaging it's delivered in, I just chef's kiss. Prettiest bottles in my speakeasy, hands down. I don't think I have a finer bottle of whiskey down here than this Old Stubborn. That's my opinion. But that's what I got, guys. Those are my top 9, call it 10 bottles if you really want to, of 2025 so far. I know that allocation season is coming up. I know that new releases are happening all the time. These are bottles that I think are really good that I was able to obtain in my neck of the woods. I was not able to get the Jack 14 that everybody keeps talking about. Have not even seen a Russell's 13 or 15 of this year's batch. I don't even know if there is a this year's batch for 15. A lot of the allocated stuff just doesn't really make it to my neck of the woods, or it hasn't quite yet. There'll be an end of the year list too, but for now, these are my top 9/10 spirit fingers releases of this year. If you've made it this far, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.